The San Francisco 49ers, 27. Your Kansas City Chiefs, 17. Friday night, August the 11th, 2017. The 2017 season is underway, ladies and gentlemen. We saw a lot of good things. We saw a lot of bad things. We saw a lot of preseason football, which usually means a lot of flags. Let's get right down to it. Kansas City Chiefs came out beautifully. Alex Smith, first drive, first play, 34-yard pass fade over the right shoulder to Tyreek Hill. Beautiful. Beautiful. We hope we see that going forward throughout regular season. The next play, or let me go back 2 plays after that. It's 3rd and 7. Alex Smith rushes up the middle for 12 yards. Huge. That's what we need to see more of if Alex Smith is going to be a quarterback. To follow that play, after Alex Smith rushed for 12 yards in that first down, there was a unnecessary roughness penalty on Albert Wilson. Add 15 more yards to that play. Later on in the drive, it's 3rd and 5 from the Kansas City inside the 49ers 9-yard line. Alex Smith goes through his progressions beautifully, hits Spencer Ware on a dump off, 1st and goal. Spencer Ware scores. The key to that drive is Alex Smith looked confident. Alex Smith looked like he wanted to be a winner. Alex Smith feels like the pressure of a young quarterback is on his ass, and he delivered. Props to Alex Smith. I got to give him that for that opening drive. He showed poise. He showed moxie. That's what you wanted to see. But what I wanted to see, ladies and gentlemen, is what we saw of Alex Smith on his feet. And that on his feet by means rushing on 3rd down. He picked up 12 yards on a 3rd and 7. That was huge. The reason why Alex Smith was successful in 2015, ladies and gentlemen, was because of the fact that he was the number 1 rated quarterback at converting 3rd downs on his feet. Last year, he was 30th, behind Tom Brady. Tom Brady ran for more first downs on 3rd downs than Alex Smith. So we need to see the good Alex Smith going forward. Brother Lance Twidwell, my right-hand man when he's not on my left, from the spoken. What did you take away from the first drive of the preseason with Alex Smith at quarterback?
It's exactly what I was expecting. When you consider the fact that, yes, everything Shane just said was absolutely true. That Alex has definitely got pressure for the first time in 5 years now in Kansas City, where he has somebody behind him that can legitimately and will ultimately dethrone him as the starting quarterback for this Chiefs organization and Chiefs franchise. Not only all that, but also, I mean, we have to understand that the significance of the game, and I'm not trying to downplay it because obviously that's what we're here to talk about what happened. But I mean, it is the first week of preseason. We were facing a should have been a bad team that we should have been able to handle soundly, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So it didn't shock me in the slightest. I was happy to see Alex take that first throw downfield, and it was on the money to Tyreek Hill. That wasn't anything out of the norm because I think Alex likes to do that when the pressure is off, and he does that in the preseason. But what's frustrating is that it gives Chiefs fans a sense of false hope that we're going to see more of that. And I don't want to go off on a tangent yet because I'm sure we're going to talk about that in a second, but just the fact that I think that there's fans now that are expecting Alex to all of a sudden become something he hasn't been over the last decade because he has that pressure on him, when really, if we're being honest, there's going to be even more conservative type of football from Alex because he knows that if he's out in Kansas City after this next season, that he's going to have to get another job. And if he throws a lot of interceptions and turns the ball over a lot, there probably won't be a team out there that's vying to pay him big money. So what Alex did tonight was good, and I think the first team looked solid. But like I said, it wasn't anything that I think was out of the norm. I think the Chiefs were going out there trying to make a statement early, and they did that, so hats off.
Yes, and Brian Wheatsman still at left guard. We've been watching him at camp. He was a starter. The offensive line played really good. I was really impressed. Granted, it was just that one drive. Alex Smith went down the field, touchdown drive, beautiful. Keep an eye on Brian Wheatsman. He's been the number 1 guard, as I said, as we watched in camp. He was the starter today. The offense looked great. The defense came out. First play, Marcus Peters knocked that ball down. Derek Johnson was out there out there as a force. He played considerably longer than the others. I was very happy with the defense. What did you see of the defense? You liked the starting defense?
Oh, I was impressed. I did not expect that tonight. I thought that the defense was going to come out a little shaky. But for some reason, they seem to like Brian Hoyer a lot. And this defense did what they needed to do against Brian Hoyer early and often. And it was just a nightmare for Niners quarterbacks for the majority of this game. Granted, they ended up winning the game. They scored 27 points, but the first two defensive teams gave them absolute hell. They couldn't get anything. They were in the red zone several times and couldn't get anything more than a field goal. And I know that had to frustrate Shanahan. I know that had to frustrate that entire coaching staff because they felt like they did everything they could have done to get into the end zone on those drives, and they just couldn't do it. And that's high praise to Bob Sutton. That's high praise to this coaching staff to get this team mentally and physically prepared for even a game like tonight, which doesn't mean much other than just to showcase some of these younger guys that are fighting for spots. But I definitely, what I liked, and it's consistent through training camp, like I talked about, that it doesn't matter what the age is of the player. This team seems to be in a good unison. Now, I don't know how great this team will be or how average or how bad, but this team seems to be bought in together. And I really like that. I like to see the attitude from all the veterans all the way down to the rookies. This team really likes each other. And that's hard to find when you have so many players at once that are from different eras or different times in their careers to be able to find that common ground so early in the season. I mean, you see teams come together later in the year, but to see a team like this so early, I think that's pretty impressive so far.
Player I liked, first-year player, outside linebacker, Marcus Rush. He gets the Daddy Nicholas Award for Week 1 of preseason. You diehard Chiefs fans know who Daddy Nicholas was. He was outside linebacker that got hurt with the Chiefs. Who made the team. Daddy Nicholas had a great preseason last year, made the team as a special teams player. He got hurt the last game of the season on special teams. Look out for Marcus Rush. He had a sack today. He looked like a man on a mission at outside linebacker on the backup depth chart. Let's see what happens going forward for him. But I like what I saw Marcus Rush at an outside linebacker today. Number 54. All right, let's go with Tyler Bray. His first pass, 80 yards. Chris Conley did a pass interference. He pushed that guy off. It was a beautiful pass. But in my opinion, after that, the rest of the day went downhill for Tyler Bray. What do you think? What you saw Tyler Bray, Lance?
It's more of the same, man. It's frustrating because
do an interception.
Yeah, it's frustrating with Tyler because we've talked at camp and I think you even asked me like who do you think has the better arm between him and Mahomes? And I actually think Bray's got the better, stronger arm. But that's not all that it takes to become a quarterback in the NFL. And Bray clearly has an NFL arm,
right?
But he doesn't have an NFL brain.
Like I said, he's a poor man's Kerry Collins.
He's able to throw that ball downfield, and it is impressive at times. But then you'll see him 2-3 plays in a row where you're like, what were you thinking? And it's so inaccurate, and quite honestly, it's just frustrating more just because. In my opinion, he's just simply taking snaps away from Mahomes at this point. I have a theory as to why they haven't given Mahomes the second string snaps. Because I think they really want him to earn everything he gets, and I get all that. But at this point, it's just getting frustrating. There's no way in the world you can watch Bray and Mahomes to this point of training camp and after this game and say that Bray deserves to take second-string snaps over Mahomes. Mahomes, although didn't have the incredible stats tonight, did everything in his power tonight to drive his team down and score touchdowns, and he ended up doing that. And to me, it's clear as day, man, that Mahomes is clearly the better quarterback between him and Bray. Right. And if they continue to have Bray in the second string, I'm gonna be really upset. And I would hope that everyone with a common sense brain out there would feel the same way.
I think the passion for Mahomes will push. He'll push him eventually to the second string job. It's only a matter of time. But speaking of Mahomes, we've now brought him up. First pass, 34 yards to Corinne Robinson, looked beautiful. But there was a holding penalty on Battle, the number 62, the third string left tackle. That was a shame because it was a beautiful pass. Battle later had a false start in that drive. So there was a lot of things that didn't go good in the first drive. But in the second drive, what was his name, number 57? Pierre Lewis.
Kevin Pierre Lewis.
The guy that we traded DJ Alexander to for the Seahawks. Blocks a punt. Major props. That was huge. Sets up shop. Patrick Mahomes only has to go 8 yards for a touchdown. He rolls out to his right. He does something that you're not supposed to do. They say never throw back left. Never throw back left late into the end zone. Mahomes took the chance. He used his skill level. What did you think about that play, Lance?
I loved it because it embodies everything I've been saying about Pat. To go against the norm, to go against what everyone says. I'm the one that believes that Patrick Mahomes should be the starter immediately. I can rehash on all of it, but the point is that's what I believe. I'm going to stick to it. And that play embodied that. He did something that people say you shouldn't do. It goes against all logic, but it worked. Right. And that's what I love about Pat, man, is I think that he does things that you cringe at sometimes. I think that if you look at some of his highlights in college, you're like, okay, if I was seeing this live, there's no way I'd be all for it until you see the touchdown or until you see that long drive. So he's the kind of guy that can break free, that can break the norm, and he did that. He showed it tonight. He showcased it. And like I said, he didn't play a ton tonight. The Chiefs didn't really give him a lot of opportunities to sling the ball around. I do think you'll see that more this preseason, but I just loved it. I was a big fan of it, and when Pat has 3 or 4 rings in the next 5-6 years, we'll be looking back at games like this saying, hey, remember that one time we talked about this? And look how it's worked out. So I'm excited about it. I'm liking it so far.
Hell yeah. You could tell the fans were excited about it. You could tell that, the whole team is excited about it. I can't wait to see what happens next week in Cincinnati on a Saturday night. We're going to have to see how much more, what's going to happen this week is Tyler Bray going to keep the second string job? Gosh, he just didn't look comfortable in the pocket. And we're not slamming Bray. It's just what he is. He might be a career backup. This could be his last chance to hang on to a team. But honestly, this is about Alex Smith, and this is about Patrick Mahomes. I want to give Alex Smith props because what we were evaluating tonight was how Alex Smith played tonight. He looked good. He looked confident. He went through his progressions, and we will give him credit for that tonight. Is there anything you want to say in closing, Lance, before we get on to next Saturday in Cincinnati?
Yeah, absolutely. So far, I've noticed that we've had a lot of people commenting on our videos and on our posts on Facebook. I want to thank everybody that's done that to this point. It means a lot to us that people actually care what we have to say. I know Shane's been doing videos for a while. I've done videos on my own, but for us to do this together, it just kind of works out really well. And I want to thank everybody that's been out there that's actually given us a platform and an opportunity to take some of your time in your busy schedule. Thank you guys so much. It really does mean a lot. It means a lot to us because we love this team. We know you guys do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching videos about 2 guys just talking about the team. We hope to continue doing this. And again, thank you guys so much for just, believing in us enough to give us this opportunity.
Hell yeah, Brother Lance.
That's right.
Until next
Saturday night
in Cincinnati. This is Shaggyshane for Lance Twidwell. Until next Saturday in Cincinnati, go Chiefs.